G'day guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm Pierre and this is Simple Home Brew. If you're interested in Grainfathers and maintenance work, stick around, I've got something for you. As some of you may know, I have a Grainfather and I bought this about 3 years ago. It's a G30. It's not a bad system. I like the electronics, everything works well. It's kind of well built, but disappointingly I had to make some changes to it to make it more user-friendly. A couple of things I did was change the connection for the top recirculation hose and put a quick butterfly valve on there to make it much easier to bring in and bring out, and it certainly firmed everything up and made it a lot more user-friendly. Took out the spring and ball because it was blocking up with hops and stuff and it kept slowing everything down. And that's it for now. I haven't done any more maintenance, but there's more to come. What triggered this maintenance video was I did a distillation the day before, left the fluid in the tank overnight, and the next day I came out and it was all over the floor, well, half on the floor. Thought to myself, wow, my Grainfather's leaking? Where is it leaking from? So I went everywhere, looked around the Grainfather, couldn't find the problem until I found this. This is the pipe that connects to the outlet hose through the pump and up and back in the recirculation. What happened was I had never pulled this apart, never done any maintenance on it, and the fluid was actually flowing down the side onto the floor. It was only dripping, and basically that bloke is what was in there. So as you can see, there's a silicone washer in there. It's a single silicone washer, and so I have to clean this. Oh, and unfortunately inside there's a bit of scorch marks there, and I can't clean that off until I get that hole plugged over here, but I can't get the hole plugged until I clean the sides properly, and I'm in a bad point here. So what I think I might do is we need to pull the pump off. I need to pull the pump off because the circulation was going very slow. Couldn't figure out why. I also have parts I got from Grainfather. These are all the rubber seals I need to maintain my Grainfather and put it all back together in a sealed release. So I think the parts are here that I need. I'm not sure, they look a bit different to what I've got. I'm hoping they're right. So what I'll do is I'll start pulling it apart. So I'll take off the pump and go from there. So the first thing I need to do is move these little plastic clips back. So yeah, I'm going to need to do that. Right, I'm going to need some tools. I'll be back. Right, as you can see, I put some gloves on. Basically, I have cracked fingers, cracked joints, cracked everything. Right, just a little bit of wood. I'll push down on here. Can you see? You can. Just push that little rubber plastic retainer down so I can get the hose or the tube off the pump. I just need to get the pump out, basically. I'm hoping to do it that way. Maybe I can't. I'll go this way. Doesn't matter if these hoses break, I have new ones, so I'm sure there's another way of doing this properly. I just want to get it out. All right, pump is removed. It's a fairly good pump. I think that I have long hair, as you guys know, and my dog has long hair as well. And I reckon there's going to be hair inside the pump, which will impede the flow. I will pull that apart and clean that. Firstly though, I'll take this out so I can clean all this. I'll take this pipe off, grab a screwdriver, undo the bolts up here, pull the pipe out, we'll clean that as well. Firstly though, I am going to pull the pump apart. I need to get a screwdriver and undo that. Get that. Well, look at that, guys. As you can see, earwigs Look at them, the little buggers. That's something I forget here is earwigs. So I was right though, you can see there's hair all bunched up here. That will slow the process, and that is dog hair, I have to say. It's not my hair. So that will slow the flow of fluids running. I will give this all a clean anyway. I'm going to take the impeller out. So I'll give the propeller a good old clean. Got a lot of hair in there. Looks it's all fine dog hair by the look of it. It's really a pain in the butt, I can tell you. So I'll get rid of all that. Give it a good old clean out. Re-grease. Get rid of the remnants of earwigs. And that's done. This is dirty. That's dirty, so we'll give that all a good clean. And I will re-grease and oil that, which is the washer. And we're replacing that anyway with other stuff. So the next step is to take this pipe out. Take that rubber seal off. Rubber joiner off. We're going to put the new ones on after we give it a good clean. What I want to do though is add my pipe back on. Pardon me. Right. Put my pipe back on, which is quite dirty internally. So I do have a bottle brush somewhere here. And I'll give them all a good bottle brush and come back into it. So what I've got is a bucket of Atomic 15. This is from Kegland, Keg King, sorry. And I'm going to soak my bits in it. So these pipes, it's a fairly concentrated version of Atomic 15. I'm going to put all, like the propeller, my little nut from the inside, got the impeller housing, or propeller housing. I'm going to even soak my washer, my O-ring, and anything else that needs a good clean is going to get chucked in there for a good wash. And I'm going to soak that in there for about 15 minutes and then give it a good old scrub out later, put it back in. Then we'll start assembling it. It's not bad, not a hard job, it's just a time-consuming job. I'm going to go into here now and clean the wall where I've got to join my pipe. But the only reason why I'm trying to do this pipe first is because I need to block this hole here. If you can see what I'm doing, you can block that hole. That's it. That's the boiler pulled apart. Before I started this video, I'd actually already pulled it apart underneath. There's a couple of little sensors and bits and pieces in here that needed to be pulled apart because I wanted to find out where the leak was. So I'll put that back together now while I'm waiting for the bits to soak. So I'll tip that right out, upside down. And we'll start this bit. So what I've got is this is the base at the bottom. I need to put everything back together. All the wiring in there, I'll show you what it's like. All the wiring in there, flicker. Ah, there we go. All the wiring in there is pretty clean. Everything's nice and clean inside, so I'm not worried about that at all. Won't fiddle with that too much. I don't know what it's all about, sensors and stuff. So I've got the cap. I've got the cap to put back on. That's the first thing I'll do. This is the cap. So I'll pop that back on. See, all the screws are rusty, so I'll tip them out. And that's I'll give it a bit of a wipe before I put it back together. So that goes on like this. Lined a little pipe or tube up. That little tube there needs to go back and line up with the hole that's in the lid, which I'll do now. There we go. Now, we shall line the screw holes up to there. And put our screws back in. There's 1, 2, 3 screws. So we need 3 screws. So I've got our screws. I need 3 screws. There should be 3 identical ones. There they are. It's in there. I think, no, they're not. That's not identical. Where's the 3 identical screws? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 of those, 1 of those. Oh, how many screws go on the outside? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, that makes sense. So I'll grab these guys. They're all part of the same thing. So in goes the screw. Now the reason why I pulled all this apart, I just wanted to check and see if this needed any maintenance, which it doesn't. So I quickly screw those in. One at a time, just get them in there. Give this a wipe out. Make sure that's all clean in there. Because I won't be doing this for another 2 or 3 years. Give that a wipe, because that's where the base is going to sit, on the edge of this. So I might have to make that clean as well. And of course, the base is very dirty as well. So I'm going to give that a good wash out in the sink in the house, and I'll come back to you. So that's all nice and clean. Did it in the sink and inside. Now I just need to line it up upside down. So hopefully these little holes, yeah, they line up perfectly, look at that. All I need to do now is pop my screws in. I did have thoughts to sell this once. There we go, nice and tight. That's ready. So I don't know what that is, but anyway, that's there and that's what it is. One day I'll know. Right, we are at the other end. I need to put that pipe on. They have been soaking for 15 minutes now. So what I'm showing you here is a little hole here. It's still not clean around that edge. So I'm just going to quickly scrub it. See if I can get that clean. Just get all the ribbons off the edge of that. That's looking a lot better. So what I'll do now is look on the outside. A bit dirty. And make sure this little fella is clean before I put the pipe back on. And I'm going to put the put a bottle brush through it and clean the pipe out really clean. I'll give it a good dry, and I'll put some lubricant, a little bit of grease on there, food grade grease, and pop the washer on and put the cap on and see how it looks. What I got is the bottle brush. It's up through the tube, and I'm just scrubbing it in and out. Give it a good old brush, and that's it. So that's that one. So the other one I need to just straighten out this bottle brush. I'll take a tube brush, and I'm going to do it in my recirculation tube as well, with the valve open, straight through. It's really cool. Makes it a bit easier. Just give it a good go over. So what I'll end up doing is fill the boiler up with proper Grainfather cleaning solution. And sorry, I'm down here scrubbing this bit with the brush. And I'll pump that through the whole system so it really gives a good clean out. So it should be nice and clean by the time I'm finished. That's the end. I need to put in this hole. But I do need this washer, which I believe is the right one. Okay, that's it there. Okay, so what I've discovered is that's the washer for this one. I would suggest the one that came off only had a washer like that. I would suggest we'll be using the same one. So I'll put that one on instead. See, this one will seal. So it's finger tight now. I just want to nip it up a little. I still need to put the silicone joiner in, but this is still a little bit dirty on the outside. I'll fix that. There we go. Basically, I'm going to put the new joiner on. They're both the same, so they're going to be easy to do. It goes on here, slide it right on, and you push the little ring up so it locks itself in place. Then that is part of the water pump, which is now something I'll have to put together. Now, I don't know how it's going to go. Don't know if I have to put the pump together, put it in, and then put the pipes on. I don't know if I have to put them all on together at the same time. I'm about to find out. So we have our little washer. You can probably see that guy. We have our pump housing, our pump, our propeller or impeller. I'm not sure if it's prop or imp. It looks like it's a prop, so it's a propeller. And all I need to do now is run my O-ring inside the propeller housing where it belongs. Well, that's a prick of a spot. Goes there. And then you throw this over the top. There should only be one way it can go on. So if that goes like that on there, that will have to go like that. So it'll be here. Like that. That would tell me that's right. Okay, we'll do the screws up on this. And a couple of go in. Do them up. Don't want to cross thread them, so I'll start them with the screwdriver. Do it up the drill. Right. Now I'm not going to do them up super tight, I'm just going to do them up firm. And I'll just check them with the screwdriver. Because I don't want to go nuts with it. That one didn't go tight. That's fine. That's a bit better. That's good. Right. So now when I put this in, it will sit in there like this, so that would say sits right there. That's going to come through. So I'll need to push that on and it will go through the actual tube. Okay, so I'm going to put that in. Oh, okay. So I'll take that ring off and put it in like that, and then put the ring back on. So what I've done is I've placed it through, popped the little black ring on. I'll put it on backwards. I'll fix that. After I put it through the hole, and then what I'll do is pop that on the pump while I'm going, and then go from there. Should I lift that unlocked first so I can move it around? Should I? Or not? It's working. Doing to the right. It's lining up. Just needs to go onto the pipe a bit more. Manipulate that part on a bit more, but that is stopping it from moving, so I'm going to push that back. Wow, this is quite a fiddly job. Related. Not leaking. 6 liters. Six liters, not leaking. Okay, that's 15 litres of cleaning fluid. I put the Grainfather cleaning product through it, and now I'm going to run it for 30 minutes to clean it out. So far no leaks, so we're happy there. Can wiggle the pipe around, there's nothing happening. No leaks through the pump at all at the moment until I crank her up. And we'll go from there. I'll get you up here. We've got our box, got our fluid inside our boiler. We need to bring the boiler up to 60 degrees Celsius. First I want to check the pump, just want to make sure that works. Ah yes, the pump works. Pumping out nicely. That's what we want. Any leaks? No leaks, it's looking clean and fluidly. Nothing coming out, so that's a good start. So we can now put the cap back on this. And I'll pop the heat on. And we need to get it to 60 degrees Celsius. It says 60 degrees. So we'll do that, and we'll run it for 30 minutes, and I'll come back and we should be done. So while we're waiting around for that to finish up, I'm just going to talk to you a little bit about what I don't like about the Grainfather and what they need to improve on. A couple of things. These silicone things here, they're a great idea, and they allow it to move and manipulate and not break off. The problem I get, I feel, is gunk gets caught between this stainless steel pipe and the actual silicon hose or pipe, and eventually builds up, becomes a problem. The join here is fairly flimsy. I would like to see a good solid join here. It is a bit flimsy, not to my liking. These things here, I've been warned that they're flimsy as well. So if you put too much pressure on them, especially when you try and move this around a little bit by hand, it can break off here, which is not a good thing. The other part of the Grainfather that I didn't like was their connection they had on here. They had like a thumb screw connection that had a valve in it that stopped fluid coming up as soon as you undid the thumb screw. It was a hassle when you're in a hurry. So the only thing about me removing it is it was a safety valve. When you release this tube, the fluid will come straight out because I haven't got the safety valve in here anymore in a little ball. That's not a problem if I remember. I've only ever had it go off once. They're the three main things I don't like about it. For a thing that's fairly expensive to buy, they're pretty flawed when it comes to that sort of thing. The actual unit is a really good unit on assessment, you know, as a overall quality built unit. Internally and electronically, it's been built very, very well. The other issue I had, and a lot of you disputed it, some of you had no problems at all. I had massive problems with it. The top and bottom filters, original ones, were a pain in the butt with their silicone seal. They kept falling off, coming off when you're trying to put it on. It was really, really painful for my mentality. So that's one thing I really didn't like. So I ended up having to spend nearly $90 for a new one, the new type that they released, which is much, much better. That's about all I think is an issue of this. Everything else works quite well. Okay, so this is it. This is the Grainfather system that you guys are familiar with. It hasn't got the jacket on yet. I've just given that a good wipe down. As soon as this is finished, which is in the next 5 minutes, I'm going to put the jacket back on, set it down, and I'm going to start doing a distillation. I'm happy. It worked out well. It's nice and clean. It looks almost brand new again, which is phenomenal. So a bit of brewery maintenance always helps. Updating some washers and parts are always a very good idea. I learned the hard way every time, you know. But it's worth doing, worth getting it done. It took me maybe an hour and a half to 2 hours to clean and redo all the seals on this, and I'm very happy. It's going to be good for another probably 2 years or so. I will check on it and do a bit more maintenance more often. I do have spare parts now, so I'll be able to do it more often. It's working fine. I'm going to empty this out, throw it on the floor, wash it out with water, make it nice and clean, and then start a distillation on it. Cheers, guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. I hope this helped you. I have links down below where I got the products from to do this, and we'll see you in the next one. Also, guys, I'd like to thank my patrons for supporting this channel and helping me fund all this maintenance work and brewing work. Same as my YouTube members. Thank you very much for supporting the channel, and all you guys who subscribe. Cheers, mate. Well done. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Cheers, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Right. I will empty you.